I did want to go ahead and take a moment here to discuss how derivatives are estimated on calculators. And please note, I'm saying estimate. Calculators have a very difficult time with actually calculating an exact derivative because calculators can't do limits. And to find an exact derivative, we would have to do the limit with the difference quotient. So what calculators do instead is what's called a symmetric difference quotient. If you notice here, there is no limit involved. The idea of it is, if we were looking at a sketch of a function here, and I'm interested at this point, a f of a, so we're looking at this as a point of tangency, we would take a point like we're used to, h to the right, to one side, either left or right. We're going to say to the right. So this would be at a plus h, f of a plus h. And we would also take a point on the other side, that same horizontal distance away, so a minus h, f of a minus h. And instead of using our point of tangency, we're actually going to go ahead and find the slope of the secant between those 2 points. And when we do that, that's where this symmetric difference quotient comes from. It's the slope between a point a little to the right and a point a little to the left. And for most calculators do use an h value of 0.001, which is plenty reasonable for the estimates that we're looking for. Remember, on the AP calculus exam, you only need to round to the 3 decimal places. These estimates are routinely accurate to within 6 to 8 decimal places. One thing we do have to be careful of is these are estimates. You need to be checking for whether a derivative should exist at all. So if we were looking at the absolute value of x, and if I'm going to use an h of 0.001, what the calculator sees would be, if I'm looking for the derivative at 0, which we know should not exist because there's a corner, the calculator is not using that point at all. It's using a point, 0.001 to the right, and it's using a point, 0.001 to the left, and finding the slope between those 2 points, which gives us a slope of 0. So many calculators would say that the slope, the derivative of absolute value of x at 0 is 0. When that's incorrect, it should be does not exist due to the corner. And the reason that's causing this is the symmetric difference quotient does not include the point of tangency. It's a point a little bit on each side that we're using to get a slope of a secant to estimate it. So do not trust your calculators to tell you whether a derivative exists or not when you're doing the symmetric difference quotient on it. You need to still be responsible for knowing, does the derivative even exist there? If it does, then the calculator's estimate is very good. But just beware that the calculator does skip over corners, cusps, vertical tangents, and discontinuities when giving you that estimate.